So here we are. This is the all-new 2025 Cube Attain C62 SLX road bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will tell you, should you just go ahead and buy this bike or should you just consider it. So hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. So here we have the all-new Cube Attain bike, specifically in their SLX version, which is kind of mid-of-the-range version when it comes to this Cube Attain, and it has astonishing and excellent price in my opinion, which is 2,500 British pounds or approximately 2,500 euros. When it comes to the paint schemes on this Cube Attain, there are two paint schemes on offer. There's this beautiful kind of metallic light green, and then you also have this very classical pure white, I would call it, paint scheme, which is a totally, classic design when it comes to these types of paint schemes on the Cube bike. But at least for 2,500 British pounds or 2,500 euros, you have a choice of two paint schemes to choose from. So generally speaking, when we answer the question, who is this bike for, I have to say that Cube Attain is a typical example of a endurance road bike. So that means that the geometry is a bit more relaxed. You see the bit, higher top tube, and generally speaking, for majority of the riders, these endurance road bikes are a much better choice than going, all in on some kind of a full race bike or a full aero road bike. So I'm always surprised when these endurance road bikes don't sell so well, but generally speaking, it's an excellent choice for majority of the riders because your position on the bike is going to be a bit more upright and just a bit more relaxed. Also, you can see on this Cube bike, there's a lot of, mounting points for the water bottles, which is absolutely great on an endurance road bike, and this frame and the fork, carbon fiber frame and the fork, C62 from Cube. They also come with the 12mm true axles front and the back and the press fit bottom bracket. Of course, this carbon fiber frame has an internal cable routing, and also, if I'm not mistaken, Cube is still offering a 5 years warranty on their carbon fiber frames. Also, I want to mention here that when it comes to the Cube Attain range, it starts from the Cube Attain Race. There are two options to choose from, two paint schemes. Then you move on to the mid-range, which is the Cube Attain SLX version. And then we move to the top of the line range, which is the Cube Attain SLT. So in this episode specifically, I'm focusing on the Cube Attain C62 SLX, but maybe in the future I will make some episodes about the lower tier of these Cube Attain bikes. So as I was saying, a classical carbon fiber frame and the fork, C62, all the standard stuff here, nothing to complain about, and with the 5 years warranty, a standard warranty kind of in the industry for these levels of the bike. When you look at some of the smaller components like the saddle and the seat post, so this seat post is a excellent carbon fiber seat post from Cube, and the saddle included is some kind of in-house brand of Cube. Maybe it's going to be good, maybe not, but since saddles are always a personal preference, it's going to be very easy to replace. I am glad that here they didn't cut the corners and they've included the carbon fiber seat post, just because the comfort of this bike is going to be much, much better. And also in the design of this carbon fiber frame, they have incorporated a certain flex in these kind of seat stays, so definitely you can expect a good, comfortable bike with this Cube Attain. When it comes to the handlebar and the stem, again, I'm glad that this is a totally classical solution. Aluminium handlebar, aluminium stem, and nothing is proprietary here, so very easy to replace in the future and very easy to adjust your position, which is super, super important. Now moving on to the group set on the bike. So what are you getting? This is an excellent Shimano 105 Di2 electronic group set. It is a 12-speed Shimano group set, so shifters, front mech, rear mech, everything is the Shimano Di2 electronic. Absolutely excellent workhorse electronic group set from Shimano. No complaints here from me. And I'll just mention a few more small details. The crankset is also Shimano 105 level, 50-34 chainrings at the front. It is paired with the Shimano's 105 cassette, which is the 11-34 cassette. So you have this beautiful range of 1-to-1 gear ratio, and this is excellent for your long days in the saddle and climbing any steep mountains. And the chain is a classical 12-speed chain from Shimano. In this instance, they are using some of the Shimano's M series, mountain bike series chains, but keep this in mind that in the future you can always use any 12-speed compatible chain from the Shimano's range. So all in, excellent Shimano 105 Di2 electronic group set. And if you didn't know, with the Shimano's electronic group set, the shifters and the front mech are communicating wirelessly, and then you have the cable connection between the front mech and the rear mech. Now moving on to the braking system on the bike. So here you are going to get the Shimano's 105 hydraulic disc brakes, excellent stuff in my opinion. Also 160mm braking rotors, both front and the back. Absolutely superb. They didn't cut corners here, and these rotors, they are maybe the basic, Shimano's RT64 braking rotors, but in the future, when you destroy these rotors, it's very easy to upgrade to, for example, the Shimano Ultegra braking rotors, just because you're gonna get a bit more heat dissipation and stopping power. But always, in my opinion, 160mm rotors should be mandatory, both front and the back on these bikes, and the Cube didn't cut corners here, so you don't have any tiny small rotor at the back, for example 140mm braking rotor. Now let's talk about the wheels and the tires. So this frame and the fork can accept up to 34mm tires. In this instance, Cube is using the Continental Grand Sport tires. They are 30mm wide, which is perfectly fine, nice air volume. Of course, I would advise you here that in the future you should definitely upgrade to 32mm tires or even 34mm tires, just because you will have much more air volume in the tire, and the bike ride is going to be much more smoother. Also, when it comes to this wheel set, this is the Newman wheel set. So this is the Newman Evolution SLR 35 wheel set. Newman as the in-house brand of Cube, and this wheel set I couldn't find on the Newman's own website technical specification for that SLR 35 wheel set, but that wheel set is basically based on the Evolution SL range of the wheel sets, so we can assume that the total weight of the wheel set is going to be approximately 1,400 grams, 21 spokes front and the back, 12mm through axles, and this is a classical aluminum wheel set. And I will just mention here that probably internal rim width is about 25mm, which in my opinion is excellent, and this is a tubeless ready wheel set. Now, they are mentioning on the website that these advanced SL wheels, Evolution SL wheels are hookless design. So this is something just to double check with the Cube, because if they are hookless design, then you just have to be careful which tires you are going to be using in the future, because you need the tires that are hookless compatible, and also you gotta pay attention to the tire pressures that you are running on these hookless rims. But all in, a classical aluminum wheel set from Newman. As I said, approximately 1,400 grams, and definitely it's gonna work perfectly fine. This would be the 35mm rim height, so there is a bit of kind of aero optimized wheel set together with the aerodynamically optimized frame and the fork, but definitely wheel set in the future would be some of the areas that you can easily upgrade. And I would always advise you to have a look at DT Swiss wheels, Swiss side wheels. So these are some kind of very good choices that you can have a look at. So all in, when we consider the retail price of this bike is $2,500 British pounds or 2,500 euros, what is my advice to you? Well, I will definitely tell you that if you are in the market for an endurance road bike, so the road bike with a bit of relaxed geometry, you definitely should go ahead and just, buy this Cube Attain C62 SLX road bike, because it's an excellent value for money. And I think Cube has done an excellent job with this new lineup of the bikes. I forgot to mention also one more detail, that for some kind of size 56 medium, this bike is going to weigh approximately, I think it's 8.6 kilograms, which again in my book is perfectly fine. That of course excludes any pedals or water bottle cages, but again in my book that's perfectly fine for this classical endurance road bike. So all in, excellent job from Cube for this 2025 Cube Attain SLX model, and I truly believe they will sell a lot of these bikes. So this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!